Welcome back to the podcast. Our motto here has always been simple: own your health, run your life. But here's the truth: you can't turn, you can't run your life if you're constantly reacting to a health crisis after it happens. Too often, the systems we rely on, from standard medical testing to conventional wellness advice, aren't built to help you take true ownership. They are designed to react to problems after the damage is already done. Taking true ownership means getting ahead of the curve. It's about questioning the status quo, exploring the science behind the choices you make every day, and making precision changes before things become costly, chronic, or irreversible. In this series, we're digging into full spectrum of your health, from metabolic mastery and gut health to movement, stress, regulation, and beyond, to help you stop guessing and start building a life of proactive, optimal health. Today's episode is titled Vacation Wellness: Relaxation, Balance, and Responsibility. I am your host, Lavern Dennis, lifestyle transformation coach who help boomers naturally overcome chronic inflammation and recall the freedom to enjoy life fully. I am blessed to be joined today by Maggie Tamez, a chef and Harvard certified nutritionist, planner, helping people reverse diabetes and reclaim their identity, and Amarilys Lopez, a weight loss coach and former IT and analyst, guiding people to break the yo-yo diet cycle and live fully active. For a long time, we've treated vacation as an all or nothing game. Either we put on our health in suspended animation, either eating whatever, skipping sleep, and returning home feeling like we need a vacation from our vacation. Or we get so rigid with our routine that we can't even enjoy a gelato in Rome. Let's dive in. So, my first question: when you think of vacation, do you view health as a burden you're escaping from, or a tool that helps you enjoy the trip more? Ladies, let's dive in.
I love this question, by the way. And I honestly have to say, my viewpoint on vacations has changed because in my younger days, especially when my kids were really young, like vacation was an excuse to abandon all um, habits, all routines, and we're on vacation, we can do what we want. Um, and as I have aged and acquired some wisdom, I like to think, um, I really do think vacation now has to be more of a hybrid. It can't be one or the other, but I think you need to start your vacation with what you want to set up for yourself. Like what are the things that you really want to hold on to while you are enjoying your time and de-stressing, that are going to help you enjoy your vacation and your return from vacation, versus the things that maybe you're not. And so I I know for me, um sleep, that's kind of one of those things that I'm like, I can let go of that a little bit. If we stay up a little bit late and go and enjoy things a little bit more, I'm okay with this on vacation. I don't need a bedtime or an alarm clock on vacation. Eating, that's more of the, I need to maintain that. And so, you know, making sure that I'm choosing good foods when I'm on vacation, finding what are the healthy options that can be really delicious. It's an opportunity for me to discover new twists, new styles, of healthy live. I'm gonna try that again. Healthy eating and living that I can then take home with me. Because if I just go to all of the, not good options, high fat, high sugar kind of things, um, I might miss out on learning a new recipe, a new flavor for something that would be actually really healthy and that I would want to make again at home after my vacation. So I'm in a hybrid, intentionally choose what are the things, the routines in your health that you want to keep during vacation, and what are some of the things that maybe are not as rigid. So that's my thought. How about you, Amarilys? What do you do when you're on vacation? What do you give up?
I love that. So growing up, no, I was born in Puerto Rico, and there's this slogan that says, "I live where you vacay." So a lot of people go to Puerto Rico to do vacation, and like Maggie, and I'm not gonna go too deep with what she said, but my view on vacation years ago and right now it's very different. Very different. I used to, escape, wanted to escape, but now it's more than that, right? I am trying to live fully active, right? And I think there's should be like different vacations. There should be like vacations that is just for relaxing. There's other vacations that are a little bit more active, right? We have to have that combo, if you would say, because if you just do like when we went to Peru, like that was back to back and sleep, that was like I muted myself. So coming into a common ground that I get to enjoy because I love eating the foods.
Uh-oh. We lagged out a little bit. You got to, I like to enjoy foods, and then we lost what you were saying.
Do you hear? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Huh. All right. I don't know what happened there. Eating the local foods for me, it's important, right? So addressing what are the things that are important for you to experience, then that will make it easier instead of just saying, well, I cannot do any of that and make your vacation a miserable experience, right? Because we want to enjoy life. Like we're taking ownership of our health, not because we don't want to enjoy life. Like some people, oh, live a little, enjoy a little. But what if you can do both?
Live a lot. I like living a lot.
So, as the boomer in the group, I appreciate what you guys shared. But years ago, when my kids were growing up, and don't judge me, I did three different types of vacation. I did vacation with the family, and I did vacation with my husband, and then I did vacation with my girlfriends because I felt like I needed that. And fast forward to now, things are still a little different in the sense that you vacay where you vida. Is that what you said?
Yeah, where you
Where you
live.
live? Okay, so the vacation that I'm getting ready to do in a couple of days is going home, and I'm going to be there for 6 weeks. So I'm going to be home. It's going to be similar to this, except that there's a lot of activities that I don't normally do here. Eating the different types of food that the native food, the appreciating the culture and doing all that stuff. That I enjoy immensely. However, when it comes to sleep, again, as I said, I'm the boomer in the group. I need my sleep. I need my sleep to function. So I make sure I get at least my 6 to 8 hours and I'm good. And some nights we don't, depending on how much hanging out we're doing. And that's all right. But if I consistently get my 6 to 8, then I'm good. When it comes to the food, again, this vacation, I know where I'm going. This is going to be, the things that I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm yearning for. I'm going back home. But when I go to vacation elsewhere, I totally immersed in the culture, their food. I want, as Maggie said, I want to experience their different menus, different recipes. Not that I'm going to be preparing them, Maggie, but
Why not? Wait a minute. Lavern.
because I don't like cooking, but I reside in the kitchen anyway. Never, you know, I digress. Yes, but other vacations, I would definitely enjoy the culture, especially if it's in the Caribbean where there's a lot of fruits. I guess I'm a fruitarian. I love the different types of fruits and vegetables. Um, I don't know about the sleeping when I'm other than home, because again, it totally depends. My body needs rest, but I definitely will engage in the culture. I am an outdoor person. I love outdoor activities, and I try to partake in as many as I can while I'm on vacation. I don't want vacation to be like my life at home, because then it's not vacation.
Me too. Like when I go on vacation, I'm always like, what does nightlife look like?
Yes.
What kind of street parties go on?
Mm.
I absolutely love a street party and like just wandering around and seeing all kinds of stuff. And if they're throwing fire anywhere, I'm in. I'm down. I'm ready. Let's go.
The fire
I
girl.
think I want to dive in with that. So,
Jump in.
for example, years ago, I went to Cancun, right? And Cancun, it's like nightlife. But now I have evolved, and yeah, I wouldn't, not sleep throughout the whole night, go to a party. Like that's not my kind of thing right now, right? That's not something I want to prioritize. So I think it's a little in between, because the reality is like if there's, let's say, 7 to 10 vacation, and if I don't sleep for all those days, I'm gonna be cranky, right? So you don't want to see that. Like I respect. So
And I'm
so,
not saying we shouldn't
right?
sleep at
Like,
all. I'm just
right.
saying, like, instead of, just so you know, I am on the edge of, old ladyhood. So normal bedtime for me is like 8:30, 9 o'clock. It's kind of early. So when I think about staying up late, I'm like, 11:30. 11:30 is staying up late.
Exactly, that
But
that works.
generally, I'm still in bed by midnight. I have a pumpkin syndrome. I am absolutely not Cinderella, but the carriage that she goes in. Like, I just want to tour around the road, but then at a certain time, wherever I'm at, I'm just going to become a pumpkin, and you'll have to carry me home at that point in time. So plan wisely. Um, I, I, I do think it is about like the intention, right? Like how late is too late? How many times, what is it that I want to go and do, and what is it worth it? What do I want to do the next day, and how much rest do I need to do that? I think planning for vacations is very important.
100%.
And I would like to go back in and maybe a little bit deeper on the food, if you guys are open to that, or does somebody else have something that they want to say specifically about sleep before
No,
I change it?
I would just like to say, when it comes to sleep, for me, it's needed. No, it doesn't take away from the partying, because if I have to sleep during the day, get my naps, and then and those naps are not necessarily naps anymore. They're sleeps. Like you take a nap and it wind up being for 2 hours. So yes, sleep is very important, because maybe it's my age and it's hard. I'm very proud of it. But I need the rest to continue functioning, to be able to enjoy and appreciate it.
I just like to say that the wiser I get, the more rest I need.
Okay, all right, okay,
Yeah.
I'm there with you.
So, because my brain needs more time to process all of the knowledge that I have. That's my story. Okay, so we've all talked about like eating local and diving in, and I think this can be something that can be confusing for different people, because like if you are going and you are experiencing another culture, another environment, another flavor profile, one of my favorite things. Um, what do you guys look for when you're making choices as far as like taking care of your health while you're exploring local culture and cuisine? I see Amaryllis ready to go.
So we you talked briefly about the planning.
Yeah.
So I think even it starts even before going into the like arriving to the place if it's an international trip. What about eating at the airport, right? Like so many people get like have this idea that they're just stuck with overpriced foods. So what I do, and it goes back to the airport
Mhm.
and when out there, I bring my own snacks. There's a so the caveat with not being able to bring food, it's the same as it's aerosol gels. It's the quantity, right? So if I love this trick, I do it all the time. I bring my own ginger turmeric shot. It's less than 2 ounces, and I have it with me. And then when I go on a trip, that's like kind of my reward because obviously, sitting 1, 2 hours, 3 hours, or even more if it's an international trip, you're gonna be in the airplane for a long time. So, you know, has has as much as I want to be able to move, like you're sitting for way too long. So bringing my snacks, I think that's like has been the game changer for me because even if I'm open to trying the locals, what if because I'm a vegetarian, a pesco vegetarian, so what if there's no options for me? Then I'm just gonna not eat anything. So I always bring some of my, I would say, comfort foods that I know I like, and be open to try other, but I'm not just gonna not bring anything. uh and yeah, I have brought like hummus, nuts, stuff like that.
True story. And I want to tag on to that
Yeah.
because you should absolutely take like your own drinking vessel with you because you
Mhm.
never know what there's going to be. And here's my big thing. You should look for and have like, especially depending on where you're traveling, um, your own water, depending on where you are going, and know what your plans for that can be. Can I tell you guys a story really quick?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So my husband, when he was younger, he went on a trip and he went with his friend down to Mexico. Now, I'm sure most people are familiar with stories about water in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
they
I've
had
heard.
heard that too. Their survival strategy was not to drink any water at all. Alcohol, beer became their
Was
new
safe.
water
That was safe.
because they knew it was going to be safe to drink. But I'm going to just say right now that the ending of that story did not make that decision a wise choice. So, um like that was a trip that he then later regretted. So, snacks and beverages. Think about both of those when you're planning like what are you doing at the airport? What are you doing after you get there? By the way, you can take a water bottle and have an empty water bottle and then
And
refill it
refill.
on the
Mhm.
other side
After security. Yep.
Right.
of the security. So don't think that you can't do that.
And
Um,
that is very wise because the price of the water will break your vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so ridiculously expensive. But
it
I
is.
I do want to tag on to what both of you said about bringing your snack. I like Amaryllis. I'm a well, when I travel, I'm a definite pescatarian. When I'm home, I'm more vegetarian. But when I travel, we're going to eat, especially when you go to the Caribbean, some of those good fish. So yes, and so I would always take a snack on the plane. And my favorite snack is my chickpea salad. It's like a chicken salad made from chickpeas. It is yummy. And I enjoy that. But I got that idea way back from my son because my son used to travel a lot and he would literally take his meal He never checked in any bags. He had a backpack and a big, whatever it is that he can put up top. And his food was in there, foods and snacks and all this stuff. But he had a meal, his baked potato, his baked fish, his what. I was like, what are you? He says, Mom, I have to eat. So I got that idea from him a while ago. And after the whole TSA thing and the prices and all that, take your snack. At least you know what's in it and what you're getting. Because not because we're on vacation, we're going to stop taking care of our health. No, we're not doing that.
I do. I still think that you need to take care of your health.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned, Lavern, that you add in seafoods and different things, especially when you're going down and visiting the Caribbean, because it's the Caribbean.
Yes.
So, like when you're looking at it, and I think this is kind of goes into different things. What are some of like the things that you look for when you're looking for restaurants, when you're looking at street food vendors or these kinds of things to be able to sample the local cuisine? And I know for you, going to the Caribbean is going home. It's not going on vacation. But if you were going somewhere, let's say you were going over to Germany, right? Somewhere that maybe you have not been. Like, what are some of the things that you would recommend or you would do for yourself so that you can enjoy the flavors and the different things that the cultures have to offer, but still be able to take care of your health?
Well, Germany or wherever, I guess I would need to make sure that I have my phone for translation, because some of these places, they don't speak English. I was told in Paris, you need to be speaking French. But nevertheless, I guess in my mind, I'm thinking I really need to do some research first to see what restaurants. And there is an app, and I can't wait to use it in Europe. It's called Happy Cow. And Happy Cow is a vegetarian app, and it tells you the vegan, vegetarian restaurants around the world in your area. And I've used it in Belize. I've used it in different parts of the Caribbean, and it's worked. The only thing about the Caribbean is I know what it is I'm looking for. And one of the things that I don't do in the Caribbean or most places when I travel is to buy, as much as salmon is my favorite fish here in the United States, I'm concerned that eating it someplace else, it might not be wild caught. So then I'll just go for my snapper or one of their local fish instead of, that's my thing. And then I also look at, try to find out what's on the different menus and see what I can adapt to that is adaptable to my diet, because I'm on vacation doesn't mean I'm going to start eating meat. There's a lot to offer out there, and you have to do your research.
It's true. How about you, Amarilys? Do you do anything differently?
I would say, yeah, that same. And yeah, and when you mentioned German, I was brainstorming this earlier, that yeah, German, it's a lot of meat. That's like kind of like the main cuisines, but there are a lot of sides. I've been to German restaurants before, and yeah, just I think the planning, and I have used Happy Cow as well here in the States. I didn't know they have an app. I've used the website, but I guess everybody has an app now. Yeah, definitely that part of planning, I think, and I always been a planner of just trying to look for the places beforehand, because I don't know if you guys, with the people that you have done vacations, first of all, I don't want to revolve everything around food. Like, people just go 3 or 4 times. It's like,
Yeah.
why are we eating like in a day? Why are we eating five times in a day, kind of a thing? And then I want to be active. I want to move my body, and I just don't want to eat. I want to, like, I see food has fuel, right? Not just the other way around. But that part of knowing before what are the options, I think that's the best bet, because there's so many wasted time, right? That was like, what are we gonna eat today? And then everybody's like, we don't know. And then it's just like 2 hours later, and then we just.
Right.
So I think planning is kind of like the best thing.
I-
And just real quick, just because you plan, and this is for everything in life, right? Just because you plan doesn't mean that you got to just be very strict. And because people, when we talk about plans, like, oh my God, it's like, that's so much stress just planning, and there's no room
Mhm.
for anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's for you to keep not on the blank slate and losing time, right?
yeah.
But be flexible of that. I love, just walking around.
Mm-hmm.
And if I see a place that, oh, that sounds interesting, and I'll go check it out, right? Even if I had an option, I would check it out because I'm right there. But it's just
Mhm.
about not wasting that time. I think planning is just like not wasting that time that I would rather be experiencing or talking to the people or the locals.
Agree.
Yeah, I
Agree.
love that because I mean that's really one of the big things when we know where it is that we want to go and do, we can go do things. And one of the things that I want to do, one of the things that I like to research when I'm getting ready to go somewhere is what kind of local markets do they have? What kind of local food markets, vegetable markets?
Yes.
And I may look up some restaurants, but I think restaurants have a tendency to be influenced by marketing. And there are a lot of restaurants that I know make it onto recommended lists who order their food from, big delivery companies. And so really what you're getting is the same. But if you go to the farmer's market first and you talk to them and you're like, so what restaurants usually, when you find like a good vendor that has good
Mhm.
things, like what
Mhm.
restaurants, do you supply any restaurants, those kind of things, like then those are the restaurants that I want to go to. Or if they're,
That's a great one.
that kind of a thing, because then I know that they are getting things that are grown or caught fresh or local, and it's going to be more authentic. So that's my chef's secret tip is when you're going on vacations, yes, look to see what beaches, museums, and these kind of activities, mountain hiking trails that you can go on, but also go check out like what are the local markets like,
Mhm.
and I know vacation shouldn't revolve around food, but food is one of the universal communication and community building devices system. Like the word is missing in my head, but you don't need to have a translator. But if someone has something really good and you're looking at it and they offer it out to you, do you really need to understand what they're saying to know that they are welcoming you in and they are sharing their food with you?
I
Right?
need to if it has meat in it. I'm sorry.
We all need to do our things, but you still know that like they are welcoming you. If you
Yeah.
don't have to even accept it, but if they are offering to share even without words, like you can communicate with food.
Definitely.
It's I'm just saying.
Food is like an international language, you said?
Food is like an international language. I like that. That is not what I said, but it is much better than what I said.
All right, ladies. What are your thoughts on movement, exercise? Do you go hard as you are when you're home? Or what are your how do you work around exercise? Or is it a workaround when you're vacationing?
I'll dive into this. I know Amarilys will have things to say about it too, but I don't do exercise plans. Like I don't plan to go do a workout in a gym or whatever, but I do plan activities. Whether it is like um I like zoos. I'm kind of a nerdy person. And so, like, if we go visit different places and they have a zoo, I always want to go see the zoo or an aquarium. Aquariums fall in the same thing, because you get to see a lot all at the same time. So, like, walking around things like that, walking around museums, depending on how long I'm going. If we're going for a week, then at least 3 days, I want to have some kind of an event activity where we're going to be going and getting that exercise movement in while taking in culture, whether it's like walking tours or, some of these other things that I've already talked about. Or like, I like going to Tennessee, and they have amazing hiking trails and all kinds of things. And so we'll just plan to go hiking and look for waterfalls and things like that. And that will be my exercise, my activity. Welcome to the podcast. Get out. And so that's really kind of my thought on it. But at least like 2 days, maybe one day is just no real activities planned, but maybe has some kind of like sit down, conversate, enjoy. Especially if I'm going with family. My family, we are card game, board game people. And so, like, just being able to sit down for a couple of hours and play a game together and just talk where you're not doing things. I need at least some of that. So it's a mix in every vacation. That's my thing.
Amarilys?
Yeah, I love that. So going from someone that used to walk only 3,000 steps in a day, very sedentary job, working third shift. Whenever I went into vacations, I didn't have any trouble walking and making the 10,000 steps that we all talk about. Now, like Maggie said, I love incorporating, if it's 1 week, I would incorporate main activities that, for example, on our last trip to El Salvador, one of the main events was to hike to the summit of a volcano. Right. And that incorporated a lot of walking, a lot of movement. I needed to get my rest the night before to be well rested, right, and have my hydration. So all of these habits just building up to actually make movement fun. Like I prioritize movement versus exercise, because someone that goes to the gym, and I don't have anything against people that go to the gym, but if someone that goes to the gym for 1 hour every day and sits all day, it's still a sedentary person. So in vacations, if you don't want to be sedentary, you got to move your body, right? Could be dancing, right? If you're local events, you can check for things that are actually also free. Like there's so many local events, and I love what you said before about the farmers market. I also go to the farmers market whenever I'm traveling, because you can get the local foods right there and incorporate, and you're gonna do some walking, you're gonna do some movement while you're doing most of the farmer markets outside, so then you can get some sunlight. So it's all about the perspective of how you see things, right? There's opportunities to have fun and do the things that you still do at home, and don't fall out of your routine, right? Because if you just completely go into the mindset of I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just in vacation, you're gonna make it very hard on your future self, right? To go back to it. So that will be my take on that, a movement. And I love active vacations. Like, but Peru was, I think, I'm not gonna say very, very like too active for me, but it was pretty intense. Just saying.
It was a challenging vacation.
It was amazing. It was amazing. But how they do the packages, it's like back to back, everything active. And normally I like to plan my own, and that was with a company, and they didn't allocate, like kind of what you said, to at least 2 days
Mhm.
to actually kind of wind down and actually relax, right? Because if you're just go go go, then you might need 2 weeks after what to actually recover. And you want to feel recharged in a vacation, right? You don't want to feel like you're escaping. It's just to recharge and connect with the people. If you're going with family as well, have some time to actually, I love that idea about the board games, right?
Mhm.
Whatever activity you do with your family, don't just stare at your phones all together and just everybody staring at your phone. Don't do
Right.
that when you're on vacation. You shouldn't do that when you're not in
Do that
vacation, but
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
But in general, if you're on vacation, enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
Seize the
So for me,
opportunity to be in a different environment, right? Because changing the environment when you're open actually provides that opportunity to connect even in a deeper level.
And honestly, like one of my favorite things most recently has been the development of Airbnbs. We've used those a couple of times for some family vacations. And what I like about them is all of the ones that we have been to have like game centers, activities that you can do at the house together with your family and friends. And that, as opposed to like being in a hotel where, there is TV. Like that is the activity. You sleep or you watch TV, and there's
right.
not really a place to like spend time with the people that you are vacationing with. So that's something that I would throw out there. Look and see what kind of options you can have for where you're staying that gives you activities and connection within the place that you're going to stay.
And I love
So
what you
I'm
mentioned about, just real quick, about the Airbnbs or any having a kitchen, right?
Mhm.
And being able to cook your own foods, because I want to, like, I do like a hybrid. I want to experience, but I also want to, if we're going to the farmer's market, right? You want to cook that food. You don't want to let it spoil. So
Right.
having that opportunity to actually have, it doesn't have to be a very fancy kitchen, right? A small kitchen, one or two pots or anything like that. You can do and cook your own food and experience the local items, and
Yeah.
that will be something to add for that, because yeah, I do that all the time now.
I agree with both of you. When it comes to the cooking, that's one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of going home all the time, because I am in the kitchen just as much as often as I am here. Because the big market days are 2 days a week, and then the small market days are, and we're at the market at the big market days to get all the fresh fruits and vegetables, the fresh string beans, the fresh cauliflower. I mean, all of it. And who comes home to cook it? Me, because that's what I mean, I bought it, that's why I need to cook it. So I look forward to
One of
that.
these days, Lavern, we're going to dive into why you don't like cooking. I feel now a personal mission
Yeah,
to see if I can fix
I'm
this.
super curious now.
Uh, okay, we can.
We don't have to do it
But
this podcast,
no,
but
we don't.
a future episode. We're
But
going to put that in.
when it comes to exercise, I don't feel I've never been a gym rat, but I'm one of those people that do something every day for half an hour at least. So every day, regardless of on vacation, regardless of where I go, I am doing something. And it's either something from my mind, from memory, or something that I'm looking at on YouTube. But I'm doing something for half an hour to 45 minutes. But that's me. Now, I say that to say my son is the opposite. He's a fitness coach, and he goes hard on every vacation. He goes to Europe, he looks for his type of gym. He goes wherever he goes, he's looking for his type of gym. I don't, but I am one of those people that is active. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Boston, and my roommate, she's not, she says she exercises 2 days, either 2 or 3 days a week. and that was fine. Those were not her days. It's all right. For me, I got down on the floor. I did what I need to do because there's certain movement that I realize when I do them regularly, I feel better. I don't have the discomfort in my knee because I have a torn meniscus. I don't have the discomfort in my lower back. So I do them and it doesn't cost me any. And I think it's important when you go on vacation to know who you're rooming with, because as you said about the TV, I'm not a TV fan. And a couple of weeks ago when I went away, it was perfect. She didn't care for TV and I didn't care for TV. We didn't turn it on once. It was great. We had great conversation. I mean, we've been friends since we've been 6 years old. So we had a lot of great conversations. And it was so good. And we did a lot of walking. It didn't prevent me from doing what I was my morning routine. But the activities, just partaking in outdoor activities will get your steps in, if that is a concern. And one of the things I want to mention is exercise snacks. People don't think of movement being accumulative, but it is. So if you're a person that is not into all this hardcore activities, but you're doing a little bit here and a little bit there, it adds up. So by the end of the day, you could probably do 40 minutes of movement,
Yeah.
and not even be conscious of it. And I think that is a plus.
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's kind of go into the vacation recovery. You touched on that very briefly in there, and I think that is a good topic to kind of round us out.
Yes.
What is when you are getting ready to end your vacation, so it can start before we leave our vacation destination, and when you return, like, what do you guys think are the most important things to reacclimate yourself back into life?
For me, while I was working, I never go on vacation and come back and go to work. That was a no-no. I always took an extra day to just chill. No, it depended on the job, because my last job that I had, it was kind of like chilling anyway. So, but but most of the times when I took vacation, I came back and I did a 1 day of recuperation to kind of reacclimate again. It didn't stop. I never really stopped moving while I was in vacation because I knew I was getting ready to go home. So I'm just chilling out. No, we didn't do that. But coming back, I always made sure that I had that time to just relax and regroup and prepare myself for work.
So I know for me, I honestly like to wind down my vacation. So those days that I talked about where I don't have any big things planned, I always try and have one of those days as the last day, so that I do whatever adventures I had, like I have time to go through and process that. I do like journaling, writing down like the things I liked, the things that I enjoyed during that time period, so that it's still fresh on my mind. And then I don't like to hurry back. We do have a tendency, most of the time when I go vacationing, it is still in the US. We don't do international vacations very often. Although I'm planning one to Belize with some good friends of mine. That's a thing that's going to happen. But when I'm traveling, I prefer to drive rather than fly. And generally, we give ourselves time so that we're only driving for 6, 7, 8 hours. If we have to split it up over 2 days, we'll split it up over 2 days. And I like to be home like early on a day,
Yes.
and then have like a half day, not necessarily a full day after we get home, but at least like a half day to kind of settle back in, go ahead and throw all of the laundry through the wash, those kind of things. And for me, I think that really helps kind of winding down the vacation before I get home. It makes it feel complete. Whereas there were many vacations trips that I would go on when I was younger, and we would be doing things and then like leaving at the last minute and then trying to go right back into work. And I never really felt like I had finished my vacation. And it all kind of ran into it. And some of those vacations actually felt like more like work than work. They were fun, but they were not refreshing. They weren't revitalizing. And I think having that wind down at the end is a tip process that I picked up through life experience that has really helped me enjoy vacations more.
Amarilys.
Yeah, I wanna share about that too. One of the biggest things about actually like doing, let's say a 7-day vacation, right? If you leave like the main events to the last days, what if it rains or the weather, then it gets canceled. So then, having it the first days, and then you get that out of the way, and then actually intentionally, probably like the last 2 days kind of a thing, just getting yourself into a more relaxed. And for example, for us, for those who do international traveling, jet lag is real. So take that into consideration, that the body goes into like kind of a shock of the different time zones and not being on sleep and all that. So take that into consideration when you're going back into your routine, that yeah, your body needs some time to adjust. So if you can allocate at least half a day, that will be like the minimum, right? But 1 or 2 days to actually get yourself in a better state, instead of just trying to, because I did that back in the day. I would just try to that's mentality of, yes, I got 8 days, yes, it's gonna be a 9-day vacation kind of a thing, and then back to back, and then all of a sudden my body is in this shock of all this no winding down, that I literally needed a vacation from a vacation, instead of feeling recharge, right? So definitely take into consideration about jet lag.
Yeah.
So this was wonderful. Great discussion. And in closing, I'd like to say our health is one of our greatest assets. Don't wait for symptoms to become energies. Let's just take time for ourselves. Let's just do the things that we enjoy doing while on vacation. Enjoy it, but know that we're not giving up our health for the vacation. And it's about being able to say yes to people, places, and things. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add? Just saying yes to life.
That's
Say
what
yes
that's
to
what I was
life.
thinking. Saying
Just
yes
saying
to
yes to
life.
life. It just came
Yeah,
to me. Just saying yes to life.
Live more is kind of mine. And then really just kind of in closing, if you guys enjoyed today's topic, make sure that you follow along, share this episode with someone else. And if there's something that you have questions about, something you want to talk about, drop it in the comments. But we would love to hear from you guys. What are the things that you like doing on vacation, or things that have been helpful for you, and share those with the community so that we can all live healthier and more revitalized and enjoy the freedom that good health brings us, and make sure that we can maintain that as we continue to go forward. So those are my thoughts. Anything else? Fade to black. Bye, everybody.